In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 branding secrets that will make your brand stand out from all of the others. Too many clothing brands focus on logistics rather than this. All that they're focused on is how do I print? How do I send out orders? Which type of printing do I use? Which type of blank should I use? Should I use this Gildan hoodie or this Gildan hoodie? And they completely neglect building a brand. As much as I recognize that there's a science to building a great product, there's also an art to building a great brand. And I realize that branding can sound super boring, but I promise to make this sick for you, fun, totally cool. So just relax, chill out, and enjoy. And I hope that this helps you grow your brand better. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd. BrandCrowd's a logo maker tool. You type in the name of the logo that you want, smack the enter button. Thousands of logos come up. You just choose the logo that you like, then you can edit and refine that logo as long as you want for free until it's perfect. This is a Hundo P design I made for my own brand using BrandCrowd. If you're interested, head over to brandcrowd.com/apparel success and you can get up to 66% off at checkout. No fluff here. The first branding secret is clarity. Too many clothing brands do not have any sense of clarity in their brand. And this is like one of the key components to having a solid brand is that you need to have clarity in your values, in your mission, in what your brand is all about. Any sort of confusion as to what your brand is about, who it's for, what your values are, and people just won't be able to sink their teeth into it, and you're not going to have a solid brand. So getting really clear on what your brand represents, what your brand stands for, who it's going after is a key component to building a successful brand. The second branding secret is consistency. There has to be a consistency from your logo to the colors that you're using, to the messaging that your brand has, and to your overall visual style. There should be a consistency from your social media to your website, your logo and all the different places that you're sharing it. And having this consistency creates a solid brand identity. If in one place you look completely different from another place and you have different colors everywhere, it's hard to gain any sort of idea as to what your identity is all about. And people in our simple brains, we like to have this ability to box things in and say, this is what this is, I understand it. Having a consistency to your brand also gives your brand the clarity that we initially are looking for. The third branding secret is one that so many clothing brand owners neglect, which is authenticity. And I have to be honest, when I first started up my brand, this is something that I undervalued too. Just like a lot of other brand owners, when you first start up a business, you're basically willing to do whatever it takes to make money. And your mindset is kind of like, whatever they're buying, I'll just make and I'll just try and go with. But I'm telling you from firsthand experience, if you create a brand and it's not genuine to who you are as a clothing brand owner and all of the content that you're putting out on social media, it feels like you're trying too hard to try and sell or you're trying too hard to fit in and you're not just doing what's true to you, you're always going to really struggle to connect with your audience. The only way to create a successful brand is to create a brand that's true to you, true to who you authentically are, and then mesh that with what other people are looking for as well. And that creates that perfect high fidelity line of communication where people can truly understand who you are and they're able to actually get on board with your message. The fourth branding secret, please pay attention to this one, differentiation. Being different from all of the other brands that exist out there. There's something known as individualism. What individualism is it's where you have your own unique sense of identity as a person. Well, this should also transfer over into your brand. Your brand shouldn't just be copying what other people are doing all of the same things that everybody else is doing, because I promise you, you will just blend in and you will not stand out. The bold risk takers who are willing to be different and to highlight actually those unique selling points that make them different and their unique value proposition is what will make you stand out, and it's a key component to branding your clothing brand well. The fifth branding secret is positioning. You need to know your audience well, and you need to know their needs, their preferences, and their behaviors. This is the key component. Tailor your brand messaging and communication to connect with them effectively. Tailor all of the messaging on your website to connect with them as effectively as you possibly can. This is what positioning is. You're positioning your brand in a way that's connecting with your audience as best as you possibly can. The sixth branding secret is having emotional appeal. People make decisions based on their emotions, and having emotional associations strengthens brand loyalty. So having a brand where people are able to actually feel your brand concept, feel what you're about, and connect emotionally is going to fuel their buying decisions and make it a lot more easy to sell. If all that you're doing on your website is, we make great products, we put a lot of effort into our products, these are all of the reasons why you should buy, and you like list them out, it's not going to do as well as if your brand is just sort of evoking this emotional response out of your customers. Do this by giving them a laugh, sharing personal stories, being vulnerable, sharing like the exciting, expressing, personality-based aspects of your brand rather than just making it all so logical all the time. The 7th branding secret is adaptability. A strong brand is not stagnant, and they're able to adapt to evolving trends and to what they need to do in order to stay relevant. And even like me, when I first started up my clothing brand back in 2016, it was all Instagram, and they didn't even have like videos on Instagram. So it was just posting pictures and things. And then once TikTok came out, you jump over to TikTok and you figure out a new form of content that you can post that's completely different. Or maybe your posts have just gotten so boring and you need to get up in front of the camera and actually start talking or doing something completely different. And being willing to adapt like that for your brand is absolutely huge. So being willing to change and keep up with trends, even if maybe they make you feel uncomfortable at first, but you're just willing to jump on it and take those risks, is going to be huge for maintaining your brand moving forward. The 8th branding secret is social associations. Whoever your brand is associated with is going to have a huge impact on how your brand is being perceived. And whoever your brand is being associated with, whether that's influencers or customers, is going to build value into your brand and build trust and credibility into your brand as well. The dozens of celebrities and influencers that have supported my brand has created a massive impact on my brand perception as a whole. It's a huge component of my brand in general is who exactly the brand has been associated with. So make sure that whoever you decide to associate your brand with and whoever you decide to reach out to, whether that's influencers or celebrities or sending out free products for pictures and things like that, that you send it to people that you want to be associated with. The 9th branding secret is storytelling. And storytelling is so key because what storytelling allows you to do is while people are reading your story, they understand more about you, but it's simultaneously a subtle opportunity for you to inject more value into your brand. So for my own clothing brand, the storytelling, a lot of our story is just a high degree of credibility worked into the true, genuine story of how we got started, how we blew up, and how we ended up making the sales that we did. Storytelling is a very direct way of branding because you're essentially telling people how they should view your brand and exactly what you stand for and your mission, and all of that is written into your story elements. So storytelling is another huge component of building a successful brand. The 10th branding secret is memorability. And memorability also has to do a lot with differentiation because the more different that you are, the more you're going to stand out in people's minds. But I also feel that memorability has a lot to do with polarization. A lot of the things that we do in our brand that I feel really stand out in our customers' heads where they go, oh my God, that brand K-Bud, and then they got to tell their friends about it, are really funny, polarizing designs we've come out with. Or something about our brand that just makes us polarizing and stand out from all the other brands. And having that degree of memorability where people can actually remember your brand is a huge aspect of it. Just as a final little nugget here, a key word to think about when it comes to memorability is having something remarkable about your brand. Too many brands just fit in, they're boring, and you forget about them instantly. It's like coming across somebody that you meet out in the world and they're just kind of boring and there's just nothing to remember about them. You don't want to be that person as a clothing brand. You want to have something truly interesting and different about your brand. So moving forward, instead of just focusing on logistics 24/7 and all of the science of building your brand and making the best t-shirts possible, also think about these 10 things that I just listed out in this video, because if you actually write all of these out and figure out how you're going to do each and every single one of these for your own clothing brand, it's going to have a huge impact on how people are perceiving your brand, and all of the hard work that you're spending trying to make the best products possible, it's going to be worth it because all of these branding elements are actually going to help you in selling those great products to begin with. If you're thinking about starting up your own brand or you're already running one, I recommend checking out the Apparel Success Mastermind. It's a monthly subscription where you get direct access to me, you get access to a community of other clothing brands, you get access to all of my courses, and there's a exclusive live stream happening every single month inside of that mastermind. You can learn more at apparelsuccessmastermind.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.